Okay, this is the big one, right? Galaxy S24 Ultra or iPhone 15 Pro Max in 2025. Which one is better? Which should you buy? Which should I buy? Let me know your pick in the comments down below and let's dive in. Now let's talk about the price. The iPhone 15 Pro Max in used condition is around $750 to $800 for the base memory model. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S24 Ultra is currently discounted and you can grab a new one for just $799. With pricing this goes, it's all about which one delivers better value for you. Speaking of value, let's talk about materials, because there's where the iPhone 15 Pro Max stands out. Titanium offers some clear advantages like added durability, and for the iPhone it's significantly lighter than the stainless steel used in previous models. At 221 grams, the 15 Pro Max is not only noticeably lighter and more comfortable to use than its predecessors, but it's also lighter than the Galaxy S24 Ultra, which weighs in 232 grams. Now, to be fair, the S24 Ultra is a slightly bigger phone, so in hand they feel pretty similar. Both phones are IP68 water and dust resistant, which have USB-C ports on both, which have fantastic stereo speakers. Though I found the S24 Ultra does get a fair bit louder. And remember, in US the iPhone 15 series is eSIM only. There is no physical SIM cards, but that is only in US. Now, front and center are these big, bright, beautiful screens. Both phones have slim bezels, and you can see here the chin on S24 Ultra is pretty much hollowed over last year's S23 Ultra. And like the iPhone, all S24s now come with flat rather than curved screen, and I think most people agree that's a good decision. Now let's talk about the S Pen, which is a key selling point for S24 Ultra. This is basically the S24 Note in all but name. The pen is slightly smaller this year but still functions the same as before. It's great for precise notes, doodling, photo editing, and even as remote control. It's a unique feature that sets the Ultra apart. Unfortunately, no S Pen on iPhone, but you do get the action button, which I set to do not disturb, basically a mute switch. You can customize it to launch apps or act as a shooter button. Design-wise, both phones are big and you will definitely feel them in your pocket, but S24 Ultra is noticeably bigger, while you're getting a little bit more usable screen space and of course a smaller hole punch selfie camera. It is personal preference, but I do find the iPhone more comfortable to hold, and I absolutely love the dynamic island. I think we were all a bit skeptical at first of this because there was a ton of use cases, but over the last couple of years since they introduced this one on 14s last year, the 14 Pros, now it's on all iPhone 15s. There are so many more apps that take advantage of it. Most of the time it is there as like an at-glance notification window for everything from your timers, calls, music. You do lose a bit of screen, but it does a functional use, and I really like it. So we have these lovely big screens, 6.7 inches and 6.8 inches on S24 Ultra, both with dynamic 120Hz refresh rate. And while the S24 Ultra is sharper, if you switch to Quad HD resolution, I suspect most of us would leave it at the default Full HD, which does save some battery. Just look at the difference in reflections. The S24 is using new Gorilla Glass Arbor, which is 75% less reflective, and versus the ceramic glass we have on iPhone and basically any other phone, which is like a glossy mirror essential, is one of the most underrated features and upgrades of S24 Ultra. Let's talk about performance. If you're being really simplistic, the iPhone might be a bit faster in Geekbench 6, but the S24 Ultra actually takes the lead in the 3D Mark, the more demanding graphics test. But honestly, as fun as it is to compare benchmark scores, the real difference is minimal. Both of these phones are lightning fast and can handle any app without breaking a sweat. The real world difference comes down to software, iOS vs Android, and how well apps are optimized. Personally, I would say the S24 Ultra running Android 14 feels a bit quicker overall, thanks to faster animations, which you can even speed up more in settings. The S24 Ultra is powered by Snapdragon Gen 3 chip, while the iPhone 15 Pro Max has the A17 Pro chip, both offering top-tier performance for their platforms. When it comes to battery life, the S24 Ultra has the advantage with its 5000 mAh battery compared to iPhone's 4500. But size isn't everything. Apple is generally more efficient because they control the chip, phone and software. In my testing, the two are pretty close. S24 Ultra lasts longer for video playback, but for general use, the iPhone edges out the S24 Ultra in slightly better battery life. But in terms of non-stop screen on everyday use, you will getting between 10 to 11 hours on both. While the S24 Ultra does have the edge in battery capacity, it also charges faster, supporting up to 45 watts compared to iPhone 25 watts. However, both are still pretty slow when compared to some of the competition, which has much faster charging speeds. Let's move on the big one, the camera. I think for most of us is like the next big deciding factor, and on paper the Samsung seems like the better option. We get 4 lenses versus 3, 2 megapixel with the main camera versus 48. We get 8K 30 or even 4K 120 frames video, but we all know it's not as simple as that, and also there's a lot of subjectivity. You may just prefer how one camera looks, how the photos on one look over the other. For the iPhone, the big upgrades this year include the 5x zoom, up from 3x last year. We now here also get 24 megapixel photos from the main camera rather than 12. And for video, because we have USB-C port rather than Lightning, you can connect external storage live and now shoot ProRes at 4K 60. I also love the ability to shoot ProRes video in log, which is definitely more of a pro feature. But you can add different LUTs or color profiles and turn your ordinary iPhone looking video into something a lot more cinematic and professional. I have taken some shots and videos with both the 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra. While the S24 Ultra's cameras upgrades aren't as groundbreaking, the big change is the new zoom lens. It replaces the 10x with 5x lens, now featuring a 50 megapixel resolution, larger sensor and wider aperture deliver better zoom performance across the board. The iPhone's 5x is close, but I will still crown the S24 Ultra the zoom king, especially at long ranges. Aside from that, the hardware remains the same as last year. Take a look at them and let me know in the comments which one you think looks better for you. For my testing, the S24 Ultra mount offers much faster shutter speeds, addressing a long-standing issue with Samsung cameras. Lens switching is smoother, especially when shooting video and zooming in and out. Video stability is also improved, particularly at longer zoom ranges, and you can mouse switch between all lenses when recording at 4K 60. These are great refinements, but I will still argue the iPhone feels like a bigger upgrade overall. Which camera is the best? The S24 Ultra is more versatile with better long-range zoom, while the iPhone excels in video stabilization, ProRes alone and cinematic mode. I also prefer the style of iPhone photos and ability to turn any shoot into portrait. In the end, both the 15 Pro Max and Galaxy S24 Ultra are top-tier devices with their own strengths. It really boils down to your preference and which ecosystem you are invested in. If you're all about seamless integration with Apple products and prefer the iPhone's video capabilities, it might be the better fit for you. On the other hand, if you're into versatility, AI features and more customizable experience, the S24 Ultra stands out. Whichever you choose, you can't go wrong, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below which one you will pick.